Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. Football returns once more for a new season that entails to be full of ups and downs for every side. For the first commentary of the season, we start in the Championship at the John Smiths Stadium for Huddersfield versus Burnley, where both sides have new managers and where both sides had heartbreak at the end of last season. Huddersfield had their manager resign in Carlos Corberán, who led them to a playoff final, but left over disagreements over the ambition of the club with the club's hierarchy after failing to secure that promotion at the back end of last season. For Burnley, they are starting the season with a new manager for the first time since the 2012-2013 season, as Sean Dyche ended his near 10-year spell at the club at the back end of last season. Both clubs are now in fresh transition and will have aims of having successful seasons in this year's championship. So for Huddersfield, despite losing many key players and appointing head coach Danny Schofield with a lack of experience, and then for Burnley, who have a fresh start under Vincent Kompany, which side will take the first win of this championship season? Exactly 2 months on from the playoff final, which was on this channel. It was Huddersfield taking on Nottingham Forest, and as you know, very unfortunate Levi Colwill own goal on that day meant that Huddersfield had to endure another season back in the championship. That's no grand reveal, by the way. That seemed really dramatic. It was just up there for a little bit. That just seemed like really, really over dramatic, like I was showing something off. We are close to kick-off, just under 5 minutes away. We can go through lineups shortly because we have got some new signings in both teams, if that's on the bench or in the starting 11. Vincent Kompany's first competitive match, which I look forward to because he had such a successful career in the Premier League with Manchester City. Could things change in the Championship? Can he get them straight back up? How hard will it be for the inexperienced manager, really, Vincent Kompany? I mean, I know he spent the last 2 years at Anderlecht, but the English game is different, and sometimes a lack of experience can lead to an early sack. But obviously, they've got clear ambition. You know, bringing in a manager like Vincent Kompany, who's only at the age of 36. He's still a very, very young manager. Like I say, he was a player coach at the beginning of his Anderlecht career when he went back to his boyhood side, and then after realising he couldn't quite take on both jobs of playing and managing, he then stepped into the head coach role, where he was slightly successful at Anderlecht, finished third and fourth in the 2 seasons he was there, so half success, half not. You know, with Anderlecht, they want to be reaching towards the titles, and he couldn't quite get them to that stage. But he did win 12 honours with Manchester City, including 4 Premier League titles, as both sides are down in the tunnel now as we await for them to enter. I'm going to go for that's Burnley's home shirt, made by Classic Football Shirts, and obviously Huddersfield will be in their home strip. I'm going to go through the lineups really quickly. The home side have gone for Lee Nichols in goal. Recently signed a new 4-year contract to keep him at the club till 2026. Ollie Turton also plays at right back. He was used quite heavily last season, but was only on the bench for the playoff final. And then Tom Lees and Romani Edmonds-Green play in the 2 centre-back positions. Tom Lees signed last season from Sheffield Wednesday, and Edmonds-Green was signed back in 2016. And then Josh Ruffles plays at left back, as they did lose their usual left back to Nottingham Forest. Huddersfield in Toffolo, which was a very big loss in a deal which included Lewis O'Brien as well. And in the midfield, club captain Jonathan Hogg stays around. He's been at the club now since 2013 when he joined from Watford. He's going to be making his 308th appearance tonight for the club. John Russell, who signed on a free last season from Chelsea, is in midfield, the 6'4" giant, alongside Dwayne Holmes, who signed in the new year of January, in the new year of 2021 from Derby. And then a front three of Sorba Thomas, who excelled last season with 15 assists in all competitions. He's going to link up with Josh Koroma on the left-hand side, and up front is Danny Ward, 31 years of age, making his 280th Championship appearance. And you can see the substitutes on the screen there: Chapman, Nakayama, Kasumu, Radoni, Ben Jackson, Tino Anjorin, and Rhodes as well also is on the bench. Then for Burnley, it is Muric in goal, signed from Manchester City in the summer. He joined City in 2015, and he leaves after many loan spells and not quite being able to get into the first team. Connor Roberts, Hardwood, Bellis, Charlie Taylor, and Ian Martson makes up the back four. Charlie Taylor is usually a left back, but he's having to put a shift in at left centre back. They do have new signing CJ Egan-Riley on the bench if needed as a centre back. Jack Cork and Josh Cullen, I think, will play the two deeper midfielders. Josh Cullen signing from Anderlecht, where Company came from this summer. The two more further forward midfielders going to be Samuel Bastien, signed from Standard Liège this summer from the Belgian League, and also Josh Brownhill has been at the club now for over 2.5 years, signed from Bristol City. And then up front they've gone for the experienced Ashley Barnes, who was in the Burnley squad that won this championship in the 2015-2016 season. He plays alongside youngster 19-year-old Irishman Dara Costello. Made no appearances in the Premier League last season, but did get on the bench for the last 7 games. So he has been within the first team for some time now, and he gets a start under Vincent Kompany, Peacock, Farrell, Vitinho, Egan-Riley, McNally, Dodgson, Phillips and Twine make the bench. And here come the two new managers. Vincent Kompany, he's gone for the suit as he shakes hands with the Huddersfield staff. That includes Danny Schofield, their new head coach, formerly of Huddersfield. He played for them as a player for 10 years, back from 1998 to 2008, so he's got a lot of history with his club. And Vincent Kompany starting a fresh history with his Burnley side. As we're going to get underway very shortly with the referee's whistle, and that is tonight James Linnington from Newport. He'll be getting us underway. There'll be applause at the start of the game as we kick off. We get underway here at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield kicking from right to left, Burnley left to right for this first half. It's Huddersfield to get us underway as they send the ball down the left channel, looking for Danny Ward, the striker. He'll be collected by Taylor Hardwood Bellis, who plays it to the goalkeeper, Ariane Muric. Good spray ball to the right back, Connor Roberts, who loses out to Koroma. Goes inside to John Russell. Tackled by Josh Brownhill in the Burnley half. He dinks it down the right-hand side, looking for Costello, cut out by the centre-half of Tom Lees, and we are well underway now in this opening game of the Championship season on this Friday night. Who will get the 3 points? You always want to start the season off with 3 points. Get you off to winning ways, get points on the board. As we're now with Charlie Taylor at the back for Burnley. A whip ball in behind, looking for Ashley Barnes, cut out by Edmonds Green. Has to be just kicked out by Ollie Turton. He was aware of the pressure being put on behind him from Samuel Bastien. It's now with the back line with Taylor Hardwood Bellis, signed on loan from Manchester City for the season. He was on loan at the start of last season with Anderlecht, with Vincent Kompany, and then moved on to a Championship loan with Stoke City, where he played 22 games in the Championship last year. Taylor into Bastien, lays it off very nicely into new signing Josh Cullen, also brought in from Anderlecht. Roberts lifts it over the top. Ashley Barnes with the volley. He's caught offside, but first little hint of a chance for the experienced Englishman, Ashley Barnes. He's been at the club for a while. January 2014, he was brought in from Brighton. He does know where the net is. Nearing 250 Burnley appearances. This is 248. Huddersfield trying to get up the pitch. Sorba Thomas heads it on. Dwayne Holmes will chase. Charlie Taylor hooks it away. Headed forward by Edmonds Green. Up in the sky it goes. Brought down by Brownhill. Costello loses out, but the touch has gone back to Hardwood Bellis. Then forced all the way back to Ariane Muric, the goalkeeper. Hardwood Bellis away. Pushing the back on Bastien, but the referee doesn't give us a free kick. And Huddersfield are now back in possession, and they win a free kick. Ian Matson, the new left-back signed on loan from Chelsea, sees the free kick. Ian Matson was on loan in the Championship last season as well with Coventry. where he was able to bag 3 goals in 40 appearances in that season. He is a Dutch left back, not the tallest, but he's very quick and energetic. But free kick here, high line for Burnley. It's quite far out the free kick. It's a crossing opportunity, but if they can get it in the box, if they can beat the offside trap. Sorba Thomas is over it, the assist king from last season for Huddersfield. Brought in from non-league Boreham Wood. And they'll leave it for Sorba Thomas, who will swing it in to the box, all the way to the back post where Tom Lees has let it run across because he couldn't quite commit himself. But he keeps it alive towards the corner flag on the Huddersfield left. Back it goes to Holmes, met by a strong challenge from Costello, the Irish youngster. And he wins a throw in for his side in the corner flag. Kicked it off of Dwayne Holmes as he took a heavy touch. He's well kept in by Lees, couldn't quite match the free kick with his run. But it is a Burnley throw-in in that corner flag with Connor Roberts. Into his second season now at the club. Long throw-in. Header won by Lees. Headed back forward by Roberts. And he wins a free kick as he went for the header. He was pushed over by Danny Ward, striker for Huddersfield. Joined in August 2020 from Cardiff. Danny Ward. And then they go to highlighting the referee for tonight's game, James Linnington. Officiated 32 games last season and brandished 7 red cards. As the ball runs through to the Burnley goalkeeper Murick. After John Russell, who's got his new number 5 this season for the Huddersfield midfielder. Just plays it into the space, and unfortunately the Huddersfield man couldn't latch on the end of it. And it's a long kick up by Murick towards Ashley Barnes. Can't quite bring it down, and even if he did bring it down, it would have been a free kick for Huddersfield anyway, as it was offside. Good lively start to the game, with Lee Nichols getting his first few touches on the ball. The Huddersfield goalkeeper, number 21. He clips it up the field into the Burnley half. Can't be flicked on by Danny Ward, headed away by Charlie Taylor. And it's now Martin on the left, heading forward again. Battling going on in the midfield here. Someone needs to get a control of this little duel that's going on. And Josh Cullen has won the free kick. And it's taken quickly by Martin. And he kicks it straight to Lee Nichols. A real waste there from the left back. A little bit of tension going on there between Sorba Thomas and Cullen. As Cullen was fouled and Sorba Thomas wasn't quite letting him back to his feet. And then Martin took it quickly and really just gave it away sloppily. It's now with Samuel Bastien, the Burnley midfielder, as Huddersfield lose the ball, trying to go long. If you are new, please like and subscribe for the new season. I will be doing a Premier League commentary next week as well. Not quite decided which game, but make sure you tune in for that for the opening weekend of the Premier League season, as we got Vincent Kompany, the Blazers off. Not quite got the full suit attire, but he means business. And it's Charlie Taylor, who's left centre-back. Thinks it down the line, looking for Samuel Bastien. Header away by Ollie Turton. Huddersfield right back in the final third still for Burnley as they are granted the throw-in. They throw it backwards towards Taylor. Into Hardwood Bellis. Now with Murick, the goalkeeper. Ball towards the halfway. Laid off by Brownhill to Jack Cork. Very experienced midfielder, former of Chelsea in his youth days. Murick, like I say, he signed from Manchester City very recently as he gets it up the field looking for Ashley Barnes. Edmonds Green wins the header, and it's a great header. Arrow straight to Danny Ward, just behind Josh Koroma, but will he be able to get there ahead of Connor Roberts? No, he won't. Great sliding challenge from the right back. Fairly won, and he concedes the throw-in. Throw-in taken quickly, and it's a foul throw-in. Oh, he tried to take it quickly here. The Huddersfield left back, Josh Ruffles. And the referee was having none of it. And Burnley take a quick throw into Ashley Barnes. Gets it forward, and it'll be Costello to give chase. But Edmonds Green will get there, and he'll force it back to Lee Nichols in the Huddersfield goal. Pings it forward to the halfway. Flicked on by Danny Ward, the striker. Sorba Thomas will give chase ahead of Matson. Matson wins the header, brings it down, and clears down the Burnley left. There'll be a throw-in for Huddersfield in their own half. Like I say, energetic start to the game. Both teams will be wanting to impress their managers still, because even though they've had pre-season, not many teams have had a long pre-season. It seems like the season's come round very quickly. So there'll still be players looking to impress their manager, want to stay their plans for the future. As a Huddersfield throw-in on the halfway line. Thrown back to Edmund Green. I say, he's been at the club for quite a while, Edmonds Green, but he was on loan last season at Rotherham, who ended up getting promoted to the Championship. Ball through to Danny Ward. Very good at that hold-up play. He's done it a few times. He likes to hold it up. He likes to get the flick-ons as well. But unfortunately, it's broke to Jack Cork after a little bit of battling in the midfield. Cullen just gets it back to Charlie Taylor. Seems like a tidy player here, Josh. Cullen, the Irishman's made 20 appearances for his country, made his debut for his country back in 2019. And like I say, he's worked with Vincent Kompany, so he'll know exactly what his manager wants from him. As an early ball through, the linesman has kept his flag down. Ashley Barnes, right-hand side of the box, 8 yards out. Brilliant challenge from Tom Lees. That is unbelievable. Goal-scoring challenge. Goal-scoring, saving challenge, should I say. Connor Roberts got the ball inside, and it was first time around the corner, in behind. Ashley Barnes got on it. It's a close one. I'm not sure if he was offside, but he took way too long to strike. And that's a fantastic challenge. Nothing wrong with that. Got the ball for me. Ashley Barnes took too long anyway. Like I say, he was about 8 yards out. He should have pulled the trigger. He waited too long. Goal-saving challenge from Tom Lees to keep it at 0-0. Questions if he was offside. If you get the lines out, they might have said that he was offside, but it was a close one, so the linesman kept his flag down. And Ashley Barnes, first real big chance of the game. I know it wasn't really even a shot, but it did force a really, really well-timed slide challenge from Tom Lees. Murick, the goalkeeper, up it goes towards Bastien. Header won by Ollie Turton. Towards the corner flag on the Burnley left as Charlie Taylor is pushed in the back and wins a free kick. Danny Ward getting a little bit too touchy to the Burnley left centre half. Like I say, Charlie Taylor does usually play at left back, but clearly Vincent Kompany doesn't quite want to go with the inexperienced Harwood Bellis. He's only 20 years old, and then CJ Egan-Riley, who they've brought from City on a free. He's a centre-back and he's only 19, so a centre-back pairing of 20-year-old Harwood Bellis and 19-year-old Egan-Riley may seem a little bit too inexperienced for this game. This is Harwood Bellis, the number 5 for Burnley. Gets it back to Murick in goal, pressed by Dwayne Holmes, but he finds the pass. And it's a great little... Oh no, it's cut out short. Can it be chased down? Josh Ruffles, a heavy touch, throwing for Burnley. Quick throw in by Connor Roberts. Chested inside. Great ball to Costello from Brownhill. Across he goes. And it's been fed through here to Martson. Great ball from Cullen. He's bursting down the left. In the box. Looks for a pullback. To the edge. Cullen. First time strike. That's straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. But it's a good move from Burnley. Well worked down the left-hand side. Josh Cullen was the one who was finishing it off, but couldn't quite get it in the back of the net. Like I say, it was well worked. The youngster Costello really getting involved, getting the move going in the right direction. He was there for the pullback, but instead he went to the edge of the box to Cullen, who couldn't quite generate the power needed to really test Lee Nichols in that Huddersfield goal. Well, back in Burnley possession in the Huddersfield half, trying to cut the lines here, and he has done nicely here with Brownhill finding Cullen in the left wing position. Bastien to Madsen, the left back. The Dutchman, he's very quick, like I say, when he was galloping down that left hand side. And he's got the ball back here from Cullen. He'll try and go inside to Bastien. Cleared away in the end by Hogg, club captain for Huddersfield. Heavy possession for Burnley. They've had 70% of it so far. Has been forced back to their centre half. Harwood Bellis. Ball looking over the top for Costello. Cut out by Ruffles, only as far as Jack Cork. Looks to try and set through Bastien in behind. A little bit heavy, and it'll be Turton here to chase down the right back, and he will let it run for a Huddersfield goal kick. Met by a round of applause by the Belgian Vincent Kompany. He's been joined by Craig Bellamy as his assistant. He's been in the job now for just about 6 weeks. It's a very quick turnover. It's very hard to implement your style of football that quick. But I'm sure in time he'll be able to get them playing the way he wants. Huddersfield play out from the back. Edmonds Green clips up towards Danny Ward. Can't quite win the flick on. Comes off Jack Cork last. That'll be a throw-in, I think. Or does he give that a Burnley throw-in? Huh? Was it a foul from Danny Ward as he went for the header? I think it was a foul from Danny Ward. He must have used his arms illegally. So Burnley's tried to clip it to the right-hand side to Costello. Loses out to Ruffles. Still with Burnley as they head out for a throw-in for Huddersfield. It's strange there. I didn't really see anything wrong with the Danny Ward jump for the ball, but the referee saw something I didn't. Maybe Josh Ruffles, number 14, with the throw-in, the left-back. Didn't play many games last season. Only got the 8 championship appearances with the 2 starts alongside that. But maybe this season they'll get more game time. Not really any other left-backs at the club. They're struggling. Huddersfield for players. It's Costello. Feeds it through to Barnes as Huddersfield lose it in a dangerous area. Good shot from Ashley Barnes. Easy save, though, for Lee Nichols. And that's something Huddersfield can't be doing, losing the ball in their own half. Like I said, it was well worked again from Burnley. Really using the triangles well in their movement. And Costello poked it through to Barnes. He was definitely onside this time. And then from a tight angle, he tried to drill it along the ground. Like I say, easy save for the 29-year-old Lee Nichols, who's making appearance number 49 for Huddersfield tonight. Throw in. Free kick for Huddersfield in the Burnley half. About 10 yards into the half because Jonathan Hogg was pushed over. The club captain, 33 years of age now. The Englishman. Did make 59 Premier League appearances for Huddersfield when they were in the top flight. Didn't score, but he's a real engine in that midfield and does give his all for his club. Jonathan Hogg. They've taken the free kick short. Edmonds Green. Turton. Torber Thomas loses out. Falls to Cullen. Goes around the corner to Ashley Barnes, who gives chase, and he'll get there ahead of Tom Lees. Gets it stuck under his feet, but he falls to Bastien. He tries to find Brownhill in the box. Cut out, and John Russell gets beyond Bastien very nicely. Gets into Dwayne Holmes. On once more to Karoma. The number 10 looking to cut inside. Plays it inside instead to Russell. Intercepted by Bastien. It's now Costello. Brownhill forced back to right back. Connor Roberts on the edge of the 18-yard box. Across to Harwood Bellis. Once more to Charlie Taylor. It's now with left back Ian Martin. 26-year-old. 26? Number 26, Samuel Bastien, who's 25, so coming up to his 26th birthday soon. Thing is with Samuel Bastien, the midfielder, he was at Anderlecht at a youth level. He left in 2016 and he signed a 3-year contract at Burnley. Hoping it works out for him and Vincent Kompany. He spent 11 years at Manchester City himself, Vincent Kompany, playing 358 matches. Scoring 19 goals in that time and famous goals as well. The one against Leicester, the title win, the goal against Manchester United back in the 2011-2012 season, which swung the league back into Manchester City's favour. Very iconic in the English game, Vincent Kompany. I think he's very underrated. Still, I don't think he gets the credit he really deserves. Harwood Bellis. Out to Costello on the right-hand side in the Huddersfield half. Again, it's good passing and moving here from Burnley. Moving it quickly, you can see their new brand of football. They're not taking their time, getting out wide, long balls up to the likes of Ashley Barnes. They're playing football, they're getting on the ground, they're moving it side to side, passing and moving. It's definitely what Burnley fans would have wanted to have seen. Kompany has said prior to this game that he said exactly this. We have got to work on some of the concepts and prepare as we want to. It takes time. He understands that it takes time, and it's like any manager who comes into a new club. You can't just click your fingers and it works straight away. Example, Manchester City with Pep Guardiola finished, I think, third or fourth in his first season at Manchester City. Then next season he got 100 points in the Premier League. So sometimes it does take time to let things really click. But with Burnley, they'll definitely want to be back in the Premier League as soon as possible. Huddersfield now have the ball in their defensive third with Tom Lees going to left back, Josh Ruffles. Down the line towards Dwayne Holmes, can't help it on to Karoma. Helped forward by Roberts. It's now with the chest of Jack Cork, who tries to bully Dwayne Holmes off it. And he tries to get away, but it's poked away from him in the end. Click forward towards Danny Ward, loses out to Charlie Taylor. Barnes holds it up, tries to find Brownhill. Cleared by Huddersfield. Helped on by Holmes, can't find Sorba Thomas. He's got his own new number of number 7. And he's losing his mark here as Martson gets forward. Barnes with the dummy. Brownhill lays off into Barnes. Bastien! First goal for Burnley It's actually the left-back Ian Maatsen with his weak foot. They've definitely deserved it, Burnley. They've been way on top in this first 18 minutes. A new era under Vincent Kompany, and it's their first goal. Ian Maatsen down the left-hand side, got it inside to Barnes. He dummied it for Brownhill. Tried to poke it towards Barnes. He got it caught under his feet. And as it got caught under his feet, it was left, the ball, untouched by anyone. And it was Maatsen who was the one who had the quicker reactions to get onto it. And with his weaker right foot, he's wrapped his foot around it. And he's beaten Lee Nichols. It's a fantastic finish from the left-back. What a goal. And Burnley lead. Kompany absolutely delighted. His team's got off to a really good start. And out of all the people to score for him, it's Ian Maatsen on his Burnley debut. Was able to score 3 goals for Coventry on loan last season. He's already got his first for Burnley. And it's Huddersfield 1, it's Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. Fantastic goal for the left back. Like I said, I didn't expect him to be in such a position where he could score. I thought it was Samuel Bastien, the man who was curling it into the far corner, because he is right-footed. But I was mistaken. Ian Maatsen was the one who finished it. And Burnley have a lead. They're dominating possession. They've had a couple half chances with Ashley Barnes, but the first real chance and the real first shot on goal with Ian Maatsen, and he's put it into the back of the net. A goal from the left back. He seems really dangerous on that left-hand side, the loanee from Chelsea. And Burnley are coming again. Jack Corkin behind for Costello. Chests it down really nicely. Tries to get the shot away. Still with him. Trying to find room for a shot. He lays it off his head to Connor Roberts on the edge of the box. Cullen. 1-2 with Roberts. He finds him. Oh, what a save. Really, really well saved from Lee Nichols. I thought that was 2 in quick succession for Burnley. But the goalkeeper stops the right back. Like I say, it's Costello who was holding on to it. Laid it off to Roberts. He then found Cullen. 1-2. Back to Roberts. Well onside. And as he tried to poke it beyond the outspread Lee Nichols, he was able to get a strong hand to it and keep it out. And Huddersfield are lucky to not be 2 down. Still Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. But what a start for the Clarets. Really positive start. Exactly what Vincent Kompany would have wanted to have seen. Currently split 1-0. Ian Maatsen with the goal. Long throw into the box for Burnley. Headed away. Comes off the head of Brownhill. Means Connor Roberts has to give chase. He does keep it in. And he plays it back to his goalkeeper Murick. Number 49. Now Cullen. Out to Harwood Bellis. He's going to try and look forward to get the ball up the field. And he does look for Costello. Headed away. And helped on. And he's far now is Brownhill, who looks down the right channel. Can he find Costello? No, he cannot. Throw in for Huddersfield. Hi, mate, been a while. Good to see you back. Yeah, the off-season has given me a little break. I think I've had a break of 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks. Because the playoff final was exactly 2 months ago between Huddersfield and Nottingham Forest. Obviously, I did commentate on Grimsby's promotion, beating Solihull Moors in the National League playoff, and that was a week after. So that's been a while. But we're back. And we're back with goals. Ian Maatsen with the tidy finish. Like I say, I thought it was Samuel Bastien, the midfielder, but no, it was the left back popping up into the dangerous position to score the goal. Like I say, Huddersfield have not even had a real chance. Burnley have been defensively solid and they've kept the ball really well. Maatsen into Barnes, who holds it up, lays it back into the left back. Into Cork on halfway, takes on one. Lays it off into Cullen, who takes one on himself until he was fouled by Sorba Thomas, who's letting out a bit of frustration there because he's not happy with his team's performance. The Welshman, who did break in to the Wales team around 9-10 months ago. Sorba Thomas against the Czech Republic. Charlie Taylor falls back to Murick. His kick's gone off the head of Dwayne Holmes and it will fall to Karoma. He's been pushed to the ground by Jack Cork, and that'll be a free kick for Huddersfield, who've only had 1 shot themselves in the game, and it wasn't even on target. Burnley have had 4 shots, and all of them were on target so far. Back in the 2015-16 season, when Burnley won the Championship, their last season in this league, they did the double that season over Huddersfield on their way to the title. And for Huddersfield, their last 3 opening days, a fell at home, playing Chelsea, Derby and Norwich. So they're used to an opening day at home. Sorba Thomas will curl this one in. It's the right weight. It's been won by Huddersfield man. He tried to get it back to the edge of the box. It's been dealt with by Burnley, and the counter-attack could be on. In a right wing position, it's the left-back Ian Martson. Looks to try and set through. Bastien, who lays off into Costello. Good ball. Can the Irishman get away from the challenge of Dwayne Holmes? No, he cannot. Free kick for Burnley. Well won by Dara Costello, the Irishman, who's doing really well. The Limerick-born forward. That'll be a free kick for Burnley. 23 minutes played. Still Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. Howard Bellis is getting up from the back, the centre half. Josh Brownhill with it. Again, too far for a shot, but definitely get across in the box, and he's done just that. In it goes. Headed to the far post by Huddersfield man. It'll fall to Charlie Taylor on the left-hand side. He recycles it back into the box towards Bastien. Headed away by Huddersfield man only as far as Brownhill, as it nearly goes all the way through. It went towards Costello, who couldn't quite get a foot on it, and it was caught by Lee Nichols as he tries to send Sorba Thomas away on the right-hand side. Can he get her beyond Ian Martson? No, he can't. He runs out of room there, the Welsh winger. Good defending from the Dutch left-back. Dara Costello frustrated with himself, the Burnley forward, as Charlie Taylor swung the ball in towards the far post. Header won by Ruffles. It fell to Brownhill, who had a cheap shot at it. And it was travelling slowly to Lee Nichols, and Costello tried to nip in there and prod his foot towards it, but he just missed out, the Irishman, and it stays at 1-0. But he's just a leader, isn't he? He's a born leader, Vincent Kompany. Barking instructions. Danny Schofield won't be happy with his side start. They could play on the left and the right of the midfield. Danny Schofield, the head coach of Huddersfield Town. He has a degree in sports science, and he has his UEFA A licence coaching badge. Been a coach at Huddersfield in the youth ranks for 2 years prior to this. Big promotion to the head coach job. And interestingly enough, Huddersfield chief executive was having an interview about the whole chaos of the Huddersfield summer, and he actually said that after the game at Wembley, when they were beaten to Nottingham Forest, he actually pulled Danny Schofield to the side and said, "We know you've got offers from other clubs available already, and I know we haven't gone up to the Premier League, but if you stay with us, we will give you the head coach role, or if our manager leaves, you'll be right near the top of our list." And he did say, he said that not knowing that Carlos Corberán was going to resign a month or so later, so he got the job a bit sooner than I think anyone expected. But he's obviously highly thought of at the club if they were promising him a head coach role, even when they had what seemed like a settled manager in Carlos Corberán, but he decided to resign a couple of weeks ago. It seems like it was more down to a difference of ambition. It seems like I think Carlos Corberán just didn't think he was getting backed enough to go again this season and try and achieve that promotion that they failed on last year. And he ended up resigning, and I don't think he's got a new job yet. It's Brownhill. He's over the top to Ashley Barnes on the left. Flag stays down. He's got options available. He'll clip it to the edge of the box to Connor Roberts on the right. Good ball from the striker. Connor Roberts. Bastien. Cork. Roberts. Back to Cork again. As things just slow down and they go across to Howard Bellis, and it's now Charlie Taylor. Josh Cullen dropping a little bit deeper for the ball. Definitely likes to get on the ball deep, doesn't he, Josh Cullen, and pick the passes and pick open the opposition defences. As he gets it across here to Connor Roberts, who signed last season from Swansea, who were in the Championship at the time, and he's now back in the Championship with Burnley. He played all of Wales' minutes in the World Cup qualifiers that they had to play, especially that special game against Ukraine, which got them to the World Cup. He tries to receive the ball here, but it's a bit of a misplaced ball from Charlie Taylor, and that'll run out of play. Throw in for Huddersfield in the Burnley half. Charlie Taylor tried to get it to the right back, but it was way over hit for the Welshman. And that will mean Huddersfield will receive a throw-in, a cheap one. So he'll take it. Throw in from Josh Ruffles. Good bats to the back forward. Edmonds Green. Turton. Down the line to Sorba Thomas. Tries the 1-2. And it gets picked up by Josh Cullen. Barnes lays off into Bastien at halfway. Forward it goes to the left-hand side to Cullen. Lays off into Martin. Bastien. Back to the back four it goes to Harwood Bellis. Strides forward. Lays it off into Martin. Great find. Bastien. Great run down the left. 1-on-1 with Edmonds Green. Lays it off into Cullen. Inside it goes to Martin. Cook. To the right back Roberts. Really well worked for Burnley. Costello. To Brownhill on the right hand side. Down the line it goes towards the byline. Costello with the cross. Headed to the edge of the box. Only as far as Cullen. Lays it off into Brownhill. Nice ball inside the box to Connor Roberts. Can he find a pullback? He attempts to find someone, but it comes off a Huddersfield man last, and that'll be a corner for Burnley. Really good play this from Burnley. They're knocking it about very nicely, breaking down defences as Vincent Kompany and Craig Bellamy discuss tactics within the first half an hour. I'm sure Kompany will be more than happy with his side's performance, especially because they have gained the lead. Pre-season for Burnley. Not too many games. They played 3 games officially. They won 2, lost 1. They also trained and played with the Newcastle squad under Eddie Howe. After their 3 pre-season games, they did travel and have a training camp in Portugal for a week, and they returned last week. They'll be back in England for a week now. Ball in from Brownhill, headed into the box towards Roberts. Dealt with by Huddersfield. Only by Charlie Taylor. Gets it back out to Roberts. Not usually found on the left-hand side, the right back. He uses the ball and finds Cullen. Martin, cross. Headed won by Tom Lees. Throwing for Burnley. Half an hour played. And the team in claret and blue have the lead at 1-0. Ian Martin with the goal. He has a current market value, the left back, of £4.5 million. That might go up if he has a successful season in the Championship again. Harwood Bellis. Hurried clearance. Comes off Tom Lees and it'll fall to Jack Cork. Thankfully for Harwood Bellis, who made a bit of a mess of his clearance. Costello. Back it goes to Connor Roberts. And across to Charlie Taylor as Burnley once again are in possession. They have made 9 signings so far. Obviously the likes of Josh Cullen from Anderlecht, and the man on the ball now signed for £3 million. Costello got the overlap of Connor Roberts. Decides to go on his own, work onto his right foot, then lays off into Roberts. Cullen swings it in. Edmonds Green with the header, only as far as Cullen again. Brownhill forces it back to Harwood Bellis. Out the wide right it goes to Jack Cook. Connor Roberts, everything to his left. He finds Costello. Can Cullen open this defence? Gets out wide to Roberts. Being pressed by Dwayne Holmes. Or Karoma, should I say. Cullen back out to Roberts again. Can he sing wing across in? They've got Ashley Barnes to aim for. Cullen into the feet of Bastien. He tries to turn and get a shot away. Good tackle from Edmonds Green. Falls only as far as Costello. 1-2 with Josh Brownhill. And he gets it back to Brownhill again. Cullen. Great passing play this from Burnley. Brownhill clips it towards the edge of the box to the left-hand side towards Martin. Too much on it. And even he, with his pace, won't be able to keep the ball in play. And that move has just been finished off with a real warm, loud round of applause from the Burnley faithful, who are really liking the football they're seeing. It's so positive. It's so nice to see Burnley playing proper football. But the fans have been waiting for this for so long, because obviously Sean Dyche left after nearly 10 years at the club. That's a lot of years played the same way. As Jack Cook loses out in midfield, and it's been sprayed out to the left to Josh Karoma for Huddersfield. Right-footed cross into the hands of Arianet Muric, the goalkeeper. No problem with that for the Kosovo goalkeeper. 26 appearances for his country, debut in 2018. John Russell in the midfield for Huddersfield. Burnley can't keep hold of it. Great turn from Russell, pulled down, and free kick for Huddersfield. It's in quickly, sprayed it out wide left again to Karoma. Good ball from John Russell. He's got the overlap of Ruffles with him. Will he use the left back? He will. Back to Karoma again. Forced all the way back into her own half to Jonathan Hogg, who's not really been mentioned in this game much. Lees. Forced back to Lee Nichols in his 18-yard box. Struggling for possession here, Huddersfield. They've only had 25% of it. Turton heads it down the line. Looks for Martin. So Thomas tried to get a foot in, but couldn't be tackled. So he cleared up the field to Cullen. Bastien. Brownhill. Back he goes to halfway to Connor Roberts. This is his 5th season now as a championship player. 130 appearances before today and 11 goals. Charlie Taylor with a switch, can't quite find Costello, who wanted him behind, not to feet. And it'll be a throw-in for Huddersfield in their own half. He's not a bad pre-season. 2 wins, draw and 2 losses. And they only conceded 1 goal in each of their games. 3-1 to Morecambe. 3-1 win against Morecambe, a 1-0 loss to Harrogate, 1-0 loss to Doncaster, 4-1 win to Tranmere and a 1-1 draw to Bolton. So like I said, they've only ever conceded 1 goal. And the top scorer in pre-season was Ben Jackson, the youngster. Stockport born. Wingo's on the bench tonight. Number 30. He spent the second half of last season on loan at Doncaster. The Englishman. Hogg. Back to Edmonds Green. 10 minutes to go until half time. Lee Nichols up towards Sorba Thomas. Header won by Charlie Taylor, and Burnley are packing possession in their own half. Taylor forward to Cork. Martin can't be found by Cork. Heavy ball. Huddersfield with the easy throw-in deep inside the Burnley half. Ollie Turton to take the Manchester-born right back. He's more experienced in League One, but he's having to make the step up this season. Holmes tries the 1-2 with Turton, loses out. Cleared by Charlie Taylor. All the way back to Lee Nichols, who's got all the time in the world, the Huddersfield goalkeeper, to assess his options. Ruffles into Edmonds Green in the Huddersfield half still. Turton. Russell tries to turn, but he's been dispossessed fairly, says the referee, and Burnley are getting forward again here. Brownhill, 30 yards away from goal. Will he shoot? He played forward to Bastien and complete a 1-2 with the former standard Liège midfielder. Brownhill swings it in the box. Headed on by Lees. Helped on by Sorba Thomas. Only as far as Jack Cork, who gets it down the left towards Martin, who will chase it but will not get there ahead of Turton, and he'll see that for a goal kick. Oh, and here we go. Steve Bruce is in the crowd. He plays his first game of the season tomorrow as West Brom boss away at Middlesbrough. And he's come here to spy on Huddersfield and Burnley. And Paul Heckingbottom, who's playing Watford on a Monday night, he's also come to watch Huddersfield Burnley. Quite a few managers in the crowd in this game. Team sniffing out their opposition. Huddersfield win it back with Hogg. Sprays it forward to Dwayne Holmes, centre of the pitch, beyond the halfway line. He's got support of Karoma ahead of him, and he'll play it into his path. He's 1-on-1 with Connor Roberts on the left. Can he try and cut inside on his right? He'll try and do so. He will shoot. It's blocked. Forward to Costello, who gets dispossessed by Josh Ruffles, only as far as Connor Roberts, who wins it back for his teammate. Welshman's on the ball. He's been forced back to the goalkeeper, Murick. Cleared forward. Headed on by Bastien towards Brownhill. Loses out to Hogg, who tries to head forward, which Ruffles has done. Forward to Karoma, but then he tries to find Ruffles again. and loses out. I think Dwayne Holmes actually the man who misplaced the pass in the end. Nearly at half time. Got 7 minutes plus any added on time that we get. It's Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. Ian Martin is the man with the goal currently that separates these two sides. I'll say he got on the end of a poor touch from Ashley Barnes. He got it caught under his feet, and like I said, the ball just stopped in its tracks, and blink of an eye, you missed him. Ian Martin just got onto it and hit it and got it into the bottom right corner. They've had the lead for 20 minutes, Burnley. And they want to try and keep it till the 90th to get Vincent Kompany a great start to his managerial career at Burnley. Lee Nichols gets it forward, only as far as Charlie Taylor, who heads it out wide left to Josh Cullen, who's just peeling further left as the half goes on. Josh Cullen. He played a staggering 50 games in all competitions for Anderlecht last season, Josh Cullen. He played all minutes in the league, which was 34 games. And then he also played in the Europa Conference League, where they were knocked out in the qualifying rounds, but he does have a bit of European experience with him. Josh Cullen, only scoring the 1 goal last season, so he doesn't really provide goals, but he will provide you with being able to keep the game ticking and provide those defence-splitting passes. Will he provide one here? He'll go for the calm switch over to Connor Roberts. Made out like that was nothing, that pass. Costello. Back to Connor Roberts, the right back for Burnley. But who would have put Burnley playing good football together, you know? It's absolutely crazy how different they were under Sean Dyche, and how only under 6 weeks of Vincent Kompany's reign they're getting to grips with it. They're liking passing the ball around Burnley. I'm sure the fans will adore it. Playing out from the back here, Burnley. They get it forward to Brownhill. Gets ahead of Tom Lees and looks for a ball in behind on the left-hand side. What a pass that is. Matson tries to get an early cross in. He gets it towards Costello, and that shows the inexperience of the 19-year-old. It was a great cross by Ian Matson, and Costello was all on his own at the far post. He shot wide in the end, but he should have done a lot better than that. Like I said, great ball in behind from Brownhill to set Matson away. Like I said, Costello was getting in the box. It was an early cross from Matson. Costello was getting there. He chased it. He got onto it. He had a shot with a side foot, and it was about 10-15 yards wide. It was a horrific shot, but the movement's there, and Kompany knows that he probably should have scored. Made his disappointment very visible, but he's a very good player. I'm liking. I've not seen him before. Dara Costello, the Irish youngster from Burnley, can play anywhere across the front line. He can play left, right wing, up front as well. Even though he's lacking a bit of, finishing touch, I like his movement. I like his passing. He gets into the right areas as well. As Ian Martin loses it in the Burnley half to John Russell, intercepts his pass. Now Jonathan Hogg. Russell gets it forward towards Sorba Thomas, loses out to Charlie Taylor, and it's Burnley back in possession with 4 minutes to go in this half, plus any added on time we may get from James Linnington. Ball's had to call him deep in the Burnley half. Forward it goes to Brownhill, breaking the lines very nicely. He's got Brownhill in between the midfield and defence of Huddersfield. He lays it off to the right to Costello. In the box, overlap of Roberts. He will try and get it to him. It's been misplaced. And Roberts is asking, telling him, come on, got to be better than that. Again, Costello, right area, linking up nicely, making the right run, getting out wide. But when it comes to the simple passes of supplying the overlap to Connor Roberts and the ball to him, it was too heavy. And a goal kick, and it's for Huddersfield, who are struggling to create chances in this game. I don't think they created any at all, really. It's been all Burnley. As Burnley have another throw in now. Danny Ward can't quite keep it in for the Terriers. Sorry, just had to answer that message quick. Taylor Hardwood-Bellis has it on the back line for Burnley. He's looked very good, the loanee from Manchester City. Looks very composed, good with his feet. You can definitely see why Vincent Kompany wanted him at Burnley. good work. Jack Cork out wide right, gets it from Josh Brownhill. Cork gets a ball in the box, it rolls to the Huddersfield right back who can clear. Couldn't quite reach Ashley Barnes, but a poor clearance, and it's Burnley back in possession. Cork down the line to Costello, the left-footed player. Gets it to Connor Roberts, who joins the attack. Left-footed cross ball in. Edmonds Green heads away. Only as far as Martin for Burnley, who will get the ball under control. Find Josh Cullen, former West Ham man. Roberts, down the line it goes to Costello, towards the byline, keeps it in. Right-footed ball towards Ashley Barnes, who nearly catches the head of Edmonds Green, and Huddersfield can clear it through Sorba Thomas, but he slices it completely, and out it goes just on the touchline on the right-hand side there for Huddersfield. Didn't clear that well enough at all. Ashley Barnes nearly getting on the head there, but Edmonds Green put his head where it could hurt potentially to clear for Huddersfield. As Burnley have headed back to the halfway line to restart again with Harwood Bellis. Does find Connor Roberts now the right back. Bastien, great ball round the corner for Martin. Charging at goal, lays it back off into Bastien, edge of the box, wants to strike, does, deflects though, straight back to Martin, who works out wide right to Costello. He wants on his left foot, he gets on his left foot and he shoots with the left foot towards the bottom right corner where it's underhit completely, and it can be an easy save for Lee Nichols. Really energetic, really positive here, Dara Costello, the Irishman. Like I say, signed in February 2021 from Galway United, where he spent 4 years there. But a lot of thinking to do for Danny Schofield. This Huddersfield side have had hardly any possession. I don't think they've even had a real chance that I can even remember. So you'll have a lot of work to do at half-time. As we're nearing half-time, Danny Ward loses his header. Costello on the right again in the Burnley half, pushed to the floor by Josh Ruffles, and it's not been given as a free kick. Quite harsh there. I think Costello deserved the free kick. He was pushing the back there from the Huddersfield left back, Ruffles. Will we get any added on time? It doesn't look like the fourth official is going to indicate any with the board. So it looks like in a couple of seconds we're going to be getting half time. As Martin gets on the end. Oh no, we will have added on time. 1 minute. As Martin tries to get away. Ball inside. Intercepted by Hogg. Plays it to Russell. Asking a lot of him, and he can't get beyond Bastien. Now Cullen brought down from behind by by Jonathan Hogg. And a throw and a free kick won for Burnley. Right for our time. Could they double their lead? Vincent Kompany looking very happy, like I say, keeps chatting to Craig Bellamy, his assistant, try and get this game out of the reach of Huddersfield. And Kompany also mentioned before the game in press conferences previously, like how he wants to get the new faces all blended together for the new season. He understands that new players need time to gel, but if they can do it quickly, then that's better for Burnley. Josh Brownhill swings it in to the box from the free kick. Ashley Barnes was the man who was getting towards it, but he was too far away, and the referee will blow for the half-time whistle. Kompany, Craig Bellamy, straight down the tunnel, and they'll be delighted with that, and are so the Burnley fans who applaud their team off. They've been absolutely fantastic in that first half, and they should be very proud of their team's performance. Huddersfield have struggled to get on the ball. They've struggled to have shots. They've had one. It was off target. They've had 26% possession. It's been all Burnley. Fantastic play from the Clarets. We're linking up well. They're calm in defence. No long ball. They're getting out wide, getting crosses in. And their goal came from the left back on loan from Chelsea. He was on loan last season in the Championship at Coventry. It's Ian Martin, the Dutchman. He was in the box. It was good work between Barnes and Brownhill. And as it fell to Barnes, he got the ball caught under his feet. It stopped. Time stopped for a second. The ball stopped there. As Barnes couldn't quite recover it himself, Ian Martin darted into the box on his weaker right foot. He curled the ball into the bottom right corner to give Burnley an early lead in that half in the 18th minute. It was well deserved. They've kept up the momentum throughout the half. Could they be more than 1-0 up? For sure. They've had 8 shots, 5 on target. Debutant Dara Costello, the 19-year-old Irishman, had a few chances. Ashley Barnes early on also had a chance where his attempted shot was tackled very nicely from Tom Lees. It's been all Burnley. It's half-time. It's Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. Ian Martin, the one who separates the two sides. Great half of football. Burnley have been terrific. They've made Huddersfield look complete and utter rubbish, if we're going to be honest. But, like I say, new manager as well for Huddersfield and Danny Schofield. They've had big players leave. I need to mention, they've lost 11 players. They lost Lewis O'Brien and Harry Toffolo in a £10 million joint move, which killed them completely, because Lewis O'Brien was magnificent for Huddersfield last season, and he was so good. I was really impressed with him in the playoff final. And Harry Toffolo brings a lot of goals from left wing back, where he played for Huddersfield last season. So to lose them both for 10 million and not really replace them is difficult. They also lost Pipa, the Spanish right back, to Olympiacos. Naby Sarr left, who played in that playoff final last season. And like I say, I've written it down here when I was doing my notes. They've brought in players. They've brought in 6 players, but none of them are really sufficient replacements that's going to, keep Huddersfield on the same level as last season. That I just don't see where they're going to improve. I think it'll be a struggle this season. I'm not saying they'll be going down or they'll be in a relegation battle, but I don't think they'll be having the success that they had last season, finishing 3rd place. By the way, they finished above Nottingham Forest last season. Forest finished 4th, and Huddersfield finished 3rd on 82 points, winning half of their games. But, it's times have changed. Football moves on really quickly, and we'll have to see how their season goes. John Cooper doing a great job. Cheers, thank you. Come on, the boy, what a game. Callum, I hope you're doing okay. Like I say, Company, smashing it. Are you a big City fan? Honestly, I was talking to my mate on the bus today, and I was talking about the game and how I was commentating on it, and I was researching Vincent Kompany and his managerial style, what he's going to bring to Burnley, and his preferred position read 4-4-2. My first thought was, oh my word, Sean Dyche 4-4-2. But it's more of like a 4-2-2 where he uses 4 central midfielders in that 4 in midfield, but he lets 2 get more advanced and kind of has 2 kind of holding and keeping the game going. They all link in their triangles. If you can see here where like Costello, Bastien and Corkers, that kind of triangle kind of shape, they do that really well, but they all float around, and he's got them playing it really well. So even though it is like a 4-4-2, 4-2-2, it's kind of similar to the way that Sean Dyche played in terms of system, but in terms of personnel and the way they pop the ball around, it's been fantastic. It's a completely new Burnley, and if you can play like that the whole season, I'm sure they'll be there or thereabouts for the title, if not playoffs and the automatic spots. But yeah, very good half. 1-0. Like I said, it's been all Burnley, really, so I say it's a very good half. It's been a very good half for Burnley because they're pretty much the team that's been on the ball. Like I say, Huddersfield not really had a chance. Burnley have had their chances. I think Ashley Barnes had 2. One where he should have got a shot off but was tackled by Tom Lees. He had another shot which was saved by Lee Nichols. Martson with the goal. Dara Costello's had a few chances. Like I say, making his Burnley debut. That's how much trust he's putting Dara Costello, Vincent Kompany, 19-year-old Limerick, forward. I'm going to show the goal here again. He gets the ball on the halfway line here, Ian Martson. He drives forward with the ball. He gets it inside to Barnes, who dummies it for Brownhill, tries to poke it into Barnes. Like I say, poor touch, and the poor touch fell into the space where Ian Martson just darted in. No hesitation. The ball's there. It fell loose to him. He struck it very nicely with his weak foot. That's another thing to remember. It's his weak foot he's hit it with. He got some decent curl on it. Good placement. You can tell it's his weak foot by the way he kicked it. Not as natural as when he kicks it with his left. Like I say, the poor touch from Barnes is a gift in disguise for Burnley as he struck it beyond Lee Nichols, who couldn't quite keep it out. Like I say, the small Dutchman, the left back, is giving Burnley the lead, and they've been able to keep it into half time. They're showing Burnley's penalty claim here. This was the Barnes chance where he got in behind, and Tom Lees made a superb last man challenge to stop Barnes from getting a shot off. I don't think it's a penalty, to be honest. Don't really get the ball, but I think Barnes is falling in it. I just don't think it's a penalty, to be honest. Don't really catch him. I think he just loses his footing more than anything, Barnes. I really don't think that's a penalty. Don't really think Tom Lees gets the ball, but like I said, I just don't think Barnes has too much contact with Tom Lees. I just think he's felt the pressure of Tom Lees' slide challenge, and he's just not been able to keep his footing. That's how I've seen it. Anyway, if you're watching, you can let me know your opinion. But I just think it'd be a very soft penalty to give away. Like I say, Costello here was fed through on the right-hand side as well. He was there to keep it upon his spell. And then Connor Roberts, 1-2 with Cullen, and forced a superb save from Lee Nichols. And that chance literally 5 yards out, Roberts there. It was saved by Nichols. That was straight after 1-0. So they nearly doubled their lead literally within 2 minutes. And then Brownhill with a scuff shot nearly got it through to Costello, who couldn't quite prod the ball towards goal. So it's just been all Burnley. They've been absolutely superb. Definitely the team to watch this season. Thanks to everyone who subscribed as well. 3 new subscribers. Great to see. Like I say, I'll be doing a Premier League game next week. Not sure which one. It can either be Crystal Palace Arsenal on the Friday night again. Fulham Liverpool, the early Saturday kickoff. Everton Chelsea, the 5:30 game. There's a couple there that I can choose from. I'm not quite sure in terms of what I'm doing, which one will fit best, but one of those games will be covered next week, so make sure you subscribe and you're here. The second half is coming up very, very shortly, in around 5 minutes' time. And Huddersfield need to sort it out there at home as well, which is a big struggle. They wanted to be doing a lot better than what they're showing currently, the home crowd. To be fair, the Huddersfield's last 5 seasons have been pretty depressing. The season before last, so they finished last season 3rd, which was fantastic. Then before that, 20th, 18th, 20th when they were relegated from the Premier League, 16th in the Premier League, then 5th the season to get them into the Premier League, then 19th. So it seemed from when I was looking at their season history, it looked like when it's good, it's really good in terms of getting into the Premier League, finishing high in the Championship, and when it's bad, it's pretty dire. You know, bottom of the Premier League, then 18th and 20th finishes in the Championship, but then all of a sudden they go up to 3rd in playoff finals. You know what I mean? It seems like when it's good, and when it's bad, it's pretty bad for Huddersfield. And I have a slight feeling it's going to be one of the less good seasons for Huddersfield, unfortunately. But I could be wrong, and they could have a good season still. So I'm not going to rule them out or anything, but they definitely need to put their ideas up because they're getting battered here by Burnley. Burnley are definitely setting their sights on getting playoffs and promotion for sure if they play like that. Sorry again, just had to sort the messages out. But yeah, I can't wait for the Premier League to be back. Like I say, I want to try and cover a lot of games this year. I mean, a lot of different leagues. I mean, I'm in my last year of college, so I'll be taking A-levels at the end of next year. It's quite scary to actually say that out loud. So things will get busy during the year, so there won't be as many commentaries. I can definitely assure you of that, which is disappointing, but I'll try and do as many as possible. I just want to try and cover a lot of leagues. I've already done the Champions League today. I'll do loads of Premier League ones. I always do. Champions League, Europa League, Scottish Premier League, Scottish Premiership as well. You know, Serie A, Ligue 1. You know, just all. I just want to try and cover as many leagues as possible because it makes it a lot more interesting for me instead of just doing the same Premier League games every single season, which I don't mind doing. But you know, you've got to reach a new audience. You know, you've got to try and find the new people to subscribe. And thanks to everyone who has subscribed tonight and who are always watching and always here watching. It's much appreciated. Second half will be getting underway about 3 minutes' time. As be interested to see what Danny Schofield, the Huddersfield head coach, has to say. He's got experienced striker Jordan Rhodes on the bench, 32-year-old, as Danny Ward, 31 years of age, has been left pretty isolated up front. He's won a few flick-ons here and there, but he struggled to hold it up against the likes of Harwood Bellis and Charlie Taylor. Charlie Taylor has experienced promotion himself. He got promoted with Fleetwood through the playoffs in the 2013-2014 season. That was back in League Two, so he's really shot up the leagues, Charlie Taylor. The Burnley left back who's having to play left centre back for today's game. Obviously, Burnley fans would have heard the news as well yesterday that Dwight McNeil left for Everton. Around 17.5 million, 20 million. I'm hearing that kind of figure. He was at the club, Dwight McNeil, from 2014 when he signed from Manchester United, the team he'd supported since the age of since he was a child, and he joined at the age of 5. Leaving Everton for £20 million, I wrote as I did these notes, thinking he might stay, and he didn't. Rochdale born, but he didn't score a lot of goals. He really, really didn't. He scored no Premier League goals last season for Burnley. So even though he's got a £20 million move, you point fingers at him. He's one of the reasons they're in the Championship. One of these top English talents, good winger, and he scored no goals. I know he's in the Burnley team that was struggling, but if you're that good, you've got to help them get out that hole that they're in. He scored no goals, and funnily enough, I wanted to know when was the last goal he scored in the Premier League. His last Premier League goal was on the 13th of March, 2021. Everton away, 2-1 win. I commentated on that game. I commentated on his last Premier League goal, and hopefully under Frank Lampard and Everton, he can get scoring again in that league. But he leaves for 20 million, and he's left Burnley in the Championship after scoring no league goals last season. But the Premier League's back next weekend, and just look at the fixtures that Sky Sports are showing. Palace, Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, Man United, Brighton, West Ham, Man City. Inject it. It's so, so good. It really is. It's just beautiful to see. But a mixture as well on Sunday, 5 o'clock. Make sure Women's Euros final, England women versus Germany women. Make sure you watch it. It's at Wembley. 5 o'clock kickoff, I think. Yep, 5 o'clock kickoff. Sunday. Make sure you watch it. Get behind the girls. They've been fantastic. All Euros. I've watched pretty much every game. The only game I missed was the last group game against Northern Ireland. But I've watched every game. 8-0 Norway. It's been fantastic. That game against Spain was brilliant. The quarter-final where they won 2-1. Georgia Stanway with a beauty of a winner in the 96th minute. Because I was really impressed by Spain. I thought they were fantastic on the ball. And like I said, they conceded late to Ella Toon in the 84th minute. And Spain just collapsed and they couldn't get back it. But so I 100% make sure you are watching that Euros women's final. Table's falling now. Never goes smooth, does it? Never goes smooth. Got tables falling now. Right, well, the game's going to start. That's just wrecked my... I didn't even know it was going to fall. Oh, wow. Like I say, it's never an easy stream. Never easy. His teams are back out. Company's back on his seat. My word, that's just absolutely wrecked my head. I can't believe it. I didn't know it was going to fall. That scared me a little bit. Everton-Chelsea might be a demolition of Everton. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? They've not brought many players in. They brought 2 players. 3. But 2 of them are Burnley players who got relegated last season. Do you know what I mean? It's just mental. Anyway, both teams are back out. Huddersfield kicking left to right. Burnley right to left. Burnley with kick-off. Charlie Taylor, diagonal ball up towards Barnes. Had a won instead by Costello. Only as far as Tom Lees, who goes back to his goalkeeper, Lee Nichols. First time clearance up the field. Tried to be headed on by Danny Ward. Losing out to Harwood Bellis. Lees with the header for Huddersfield. Only as far as Cullen, who chests it down to Brownhill. Cullen through the gap towards Bastien. Helps it on to Brownhill. Good 1-2. Bastien again. It's with the winger of Costello. Lays it off to Connor Roberts. Back out to Costello. Down the line to Brownhill. Bastien brings it down nicely. Loses out though in the end to Ruffles, and Huddersfield try and get on the break here with Danny Ward. Takes it well past Harwood Bellis. I think it's the first time he's done that today. And he wins the free kick. He wins the throw-in, off Connor Roberts. Good play there from Danny Ward. Throwing down the line. Ruffles. Ward loses out to Harwood Bellis. Another throw in for Burnley. Dwayne Holmes lays it back into the throwing taker. Ruffles clears it down the line. Header won by Roberts. So as Cullen, the Irishman, kicks out for a throw in for Huddersfield again. Just inside their own half. And that'll be Josh Ruffles to take the left back. But it goes again. Header won by Charlie Taylor. Brought down by Brownhill in the Burnley half. Connor Roberts has been forced back to his goalkeeper Murick. He's not really been tested yet with his hands, but with his kicking he's been tested, and that was a poor kick. Let off very fortunately, came off a Huddersfield man, fell towards Barnes, battling in the midfield, and it's Burnley to bring away Jack Cork on the right. Just about keeps it in ahead of the technical areas. No, I'm wrong. No, he didn't. Went out of play. Burnley throwing. It's nice to see Vincent Kompany keeping Mike Jackson involved from last season. He was absolutely fantastic. The interim manager at the back end of last season. Jackson got 3 wins and 1 draw in April, which got him manager of the month, and he's kept a space in the first team coaching roles alongside Craig Bellamy and Vincent Kompany. It looks like a bit of a team they've got going on there. Throw in for Huddersfield, Ollie Turton, the right back with it, making his 45th Huddersfield appearance. Joined from Blackpool in 2021. John Russell clears up the field. Header won by Taylor, only as far as Sorba Thomas, the Huddersfield man, and they can break. He's got men over on the left. Karoma in the box. Once on his right foot, goes a long way round, trying to get onto his left. Really, really heavy touch, and out for a goal kick it goes. He'll be heavily disappointed there. Josh Karoma, he wanted it on his right foot, and you could tell that, and he realised he wasn't going to be able to get it onto his strong foot, so tried to go around the outside, and like I say, just a really heavy touch, and it's out of play for a goal kick. Got to be doing the better than that, Josh Karoma. He got 34 championship appearances last year, 4 goals. He's not scored a championship goal since mid-February, where he got one against Cardiff, and he was out injured for the playoff matches. Murick dinks out towards Martson, the left back. Heads it down the line. Ollie Turton meets it, the Huddersfield man, up in the air. Russell tries to win the first header, wins it a second time. Danny Ward out to Turton, up towards Sorba Thomas on the edge of the Burnley box. Dealt with by Burnley for now. Throwing for Huddersfield as they clear. Still in the final third for Huddersfield. We're right back to take. Actually, he'll be left for Dwayne Holmes. It looks like he's winding up a long throw-in, which surprises me. He's only 5'6", Dwayne Holmes. He's a very small player, but he's gonna wind up a long throw-in here, the number 19. And it goes towards the near post. John Russell can't win it. Ball fall back to Dwayne Holmes. Edge of the box. Sorba Thomas lifts it in, and no one's attacking it for Huddersfield, and it'll fall into the hands of Ariane Murick. Oh, Costello gets away from one. Lays it off. Good run here from the Irishman. Gets the return towards the byline. Can he keep it in? He wins a corner though. Kicks it off Ruffles last. Great play from Dara Costello, the Irishman. Really, really impressing me, this young 19-year-old forward. Corner for Burnley. Can they make anything of it? Harwood Bellis is up, so is Charlie Taylor, the 2 centre-halves. Barnes is in there as well. We know he's an aerial threat at 6'1". Referee James Linnington just having a word with the 4 players that are surrounding the goalkeeper Lee Nichols. Having more of a conversation with Costello and Ruffles. It's going to be an outswinging ball. It's going to be Josh Brownhill, the number 8. In it goes. It's got power on it towards Harwood Bellis, headed away by Huddersfield man. It's gone all the way back to Jack Cork. He's gone to his goalkeeper towards the halfway line, Murick. Gets it back out to Jack Cork in the right back area. 1-2 with Connor Roberts. Cullen. Harwood Bellis. Cullen again takes over. Gets it out wide left to Martson at left back. Then into Charlie Taylor. Across to Taylor Harwood-Bellis, currently England's under-21s captain. As he gets a ball looking towards Ashley Barnes. Keeps it very nicely there. Ashley Barnes. And he works out wide right to Connor Roberts, who tries to drive inside. Lays it off into Cork. Back out it goes to Costello. Left-footed forward. Goes back to his centre-half of Harwood-Bellis. Across to Charlie Taylor. If you are new, please like and subscribe. Helps out massively. Premier League commentary coming up next weekend. Let's get those notifications on to know when I'm going live. Halfway line, Charlie Taylor sees a diagonal switch towards the Burnley right, and he finds Costello nicely. Great touch with the chest. Brownhill. Roberts. Brownhill again on the right-hand side. Shaping up for a cross, but instead it goes back to Cork. Cullen. Costello. Right-footed cross off the top of a Huddersfield head, and it will fall to Sorba Thomas, who gets it away from Martin and looks for the switch to the left-hand side to Karoma. He will keep it in as well. This could be a break on for Huddersfield. Getting chased down by Costello, but he does work a cross in. Nearly falls to Ward. Prodded away by Charlie Taylor, still in the possession of Huddersfield. Turton the right back into Sorba Thomas. Need a bit of magic from him, the Welshman. Here he is again. Turton crosses it. It's a delicious one. Will it drop to Huddersfield? Man, it won't. It goes over the head of Danny Ward. It came off a Burnley man, and again it fell in the box. And if a Huddersfield player was there, he could have got on the end of it, but instead it just trickled to a Burnley man who was able to clear. Great ball from the right back. Ollie Turton looking for Danny Ward. Just went over his head. Came off Roberts. He didn't clear it convincingly, but Cork helped him out and got it out of play. Very unfortunate for Huddersfield. Looking a little bit better. It's the best thing they've done so far in the game. Actually look a threat. Looks like a free kick here for Huddersfield on the left. I'm not going to lie. I'm not quite sure why the free kick's been given. There was obviously a bit of battling going on the Huddersfield left. And the referee has awarded them a free kick. Again, it's very far out, but they can clip it into the box maybe. No, it's to the edge of the box to Lees, who helps it on into the box towards Russell. Cut out by Charlie Taylor. Gets it in the left-back area. Plays it down the line. To Cork. Roberts. To Cullen. On the 18-yard box. In the 18-yard line. Goes across to Harwood-Bellis. It's an audacious switch. Couldn't quite find Bastien. It's now with John Russell, the Huddersfield man. Edmonds Green. Back to the goalkeeper, Lee Nichols. His clearance, it comes off Ashley Barnes, it falls to Lewis Brownhill on the edge of the box. Feeds it to Cullen. Feeds it through, again to Brownhill, can't quite take it in his stride. Goal kick for Huddersfield, and Lee Nichols gets away with one there. Couldn't get his clearance away quick enough, it came off Ashley Barnes. Fell to Brownhill. Thankfully for Huddersfield, they did have players back to cover the mistake. Like I say, as Cullen did feed it through towards Brownhill. He was onside as well, so if he could tuck it in his stride and get a shot away, it would have counted if it hit the back of the net. Huddersfield try to play out from the back. Dwayne Holmes, misplaced ball. Throw in for Burnley in the Huddersfield half. They want a second, Burnley. Does look like they're going to make a change though here, Huddersfield. It looks like there's movement on the sidelines. Huddersfield heads away. Scott. Jonathan Hogg clears it. Again, cut out by Charlie Taylor. He's been chased by Danny Ward. But he gets it out to the left back, Martin, who enters the Huddersfield half. Gets the ball inside to Bastien, the former Standard Liège midfielder. Represents DR Congo at international level. The midfielder. As they've worked it to the right here, Costello. Brownhill, 1-2, back with Costello again. Shifts it away from the tackle of Dwayne Holmes. They're going to go towards the left-hand side this time with Cullen. Barnes, out to the left back, Martin. Looks for Cullen's run in towards the box. It's been cut out by Tom Lees. And Burnley are looking dangerous again. As we've got a double change for Huddersfield. Here we go, double change. Number 22 is coming on, Jack Redone. Signed in the summer from Wimbledon for £800,000. He's a central midfielder. He got 12 goals from central midfield last season in League One. And he'll be replacing Josh Karoma. It's not quite worked out for the winger. He's not been that great. A few misplaced touches, not being able to get shots away. And the other change is going to see, I think, Dwayne Holmes, the number 19. He's going to come off. And he's going to be replaced by Loney, Tino and Jorin. Joined from Chelsea. Signed on loan. And he comes on. Can he make a difference? So Dwayne Holmes and Josh Koroma off for Jack Redoni and Tino and Jorin. Loney from Chelsea is Burnley give it away here. As Huddersfield look to break forward. It's a good little run here. And it's going to be a free kick. Well won there by Anjorin. A little bit of pushing going on. Not quite sure why, but like I say, Tino Anjorin picked up the ball from a misplaced pass. Clipped by Cullen. Definitely a foul there. So free kick rightly given by the referee, and I think Cullen knew it as well. Referee just giving a yellow card out to, was it Costello there? I think he's given a booking out. He was getting a little bit involved in the pushing and the shoving. So it might have been a booking for the young Irishman. But this is shooting range. I mean, it's far out. If they get this in, it'll be a hell of a free kick. That's Josh Cullen with the yellow card, sorry. The one who originally gave the foul away. And Jorin's over it. He runs over it. Sorba Thomas instead curls it in. Met by Murick, who's collapsed into his own player, and referee will have to stop play. He's gone right into his defender there. Lack of communication. I think it's Charlie Taylor he's gone into. He's definitely felt the impact of that. Like I say, Sorba Thomas just curled it into the box. Murick was always coming to get it. And then straight into his centre half. That has got to hurt. Didn't punch him in the head. He punched the ball, thankfully, but just ran straight into the back of his defender. You'll definitely feel that one, that's for sure. Look at him, hard as nails. The Sean Dyche part of him coming through there. Straight back onto his feet, Charlie Taylor. That's definitely a chance wasted for Huddersfield. Tino and Jorin definitely making a positive impact as soon as he come on the field. Won the free kick, and he's looking good, the loanee from Chelsea. Back underway of Ollie Turton. Flicked on by Danny Ward. It's Redoni, the substitute. A tight angle. Gets the ball across. Headed by Cullen to the edge. John Russell. And Jorin tries to turn. Cleared by Cullen again. That's Huddersfield left to ruffle. This is better from Huddersfield as they get a cross into the box. Headed away by Charlie Taylor. He'll be picked up by Ollie Turton, the right back, who chases down for it, the number 2. Finds Sorba Thomas, gets away very nicely from Martson. Offers too much of it to Jack Cork, who takes it away. And it could be roles reverse here. It could be Burnley counter-attacking, and they are. Ian Martson, the left back, he's got so much pace to get forward. He's in the Huddersfield half. He's had to slow it down, though, and just lay it off into Josh Cullen as the support ran out, and he had to wait for it to join him. Josh Cullen on halfway as Burnley just calm things down as Huddersfield just slowly making themselves known in the game. Despite struggling for the majority of it, as they've been given the ball again. Costello with a poor ball given away. Huddersfield have it, but they also lose out. It's now Josh Cullen. Been very impressed with him. £3 million signing from Anderlecht. Worked under Vincent Kompany before. Bastien gives it away. The play's not there. He thought someone was going to be there. They weren't. And Jorin gets it through the lines again. Sorba Thomas. Cut out though. Good tackle by Martson. But Anjorin tries to win it back. What a substitution he's been. I think he'll be starting next game. Didn't quite work out because he's been cleared by Burnley. But that Tino Anjorin, he's massive as well. How tall is he? Yeah, 6'1". He's massive, Tino Anjorin, and he'll definitely be a bright spot for Huddersfield this season. Definitely, I think we'll start the next game. He rejoined. He was on loan at Huddersfield at the end of last season. From September to January, he's on loan at Lokomotiv Moscow, and then in January he headed to Huddersfield, where he played 7 championship games and scored 1 goal against Coventry, and didn't feature off the bench in the playoffs. But he's back for a second loan spell. It looks like he's coming fighting. Cullen gets out wide left. Ian Martson, the left back. He has a run of Bastien in behind on the left. Will he be able to keep it in? He will be able to on the byline towards the corner flag. Lays it off into Martson. First time cross. Intercepted by Russell, who lays it off into Sorba Thomas. Has to try and get away here. Pokes out wide right. And here we go. Huddersfield away again. Tino Anjorin lays it back off to Thomas, who'd gallop forward towards the right-hand side. Tries to get beyond the tackle of Charlie Taylor and can't quite do so. And I think it's going to be a free kick. No way that's a free kick. Seriously? Oh, yeah, he's pulled back. Sorry. Oh, Sorba Thomas gave him a little bit of a kick there. Needs to be careful, Sorba Thomas. Didn't quite see that. He did get a good grip of his shirt. Charlie Taylor. Yeah, Sorba Thomas has to be careful, though, because he has kicked out at Taylor. I think, thankfully for Sorba Thomas, Taylor hasn't reacted, but I think the referee, let's have a word just to tell him to calm down. But I didn't see that from the camera angle that they show. I couldn't quite see that, but he held the top of his shirt and grabbed the bottom and just pulled him down. So rightly given free kick. That's why I'm not the referee. Sorba Thomas will take it on the far right-hand side. It's a great chance to get the ball in the box. And he's done just that as he got it too close to the keeper. Huddersfield man's gone down in the box. It's gone all the way through. Nothing given. Goal kick. Tom Lees was the man who was pulled down. I thought Sorba Thomas put it too close to the keeper, but it was actually just right as the ball curled. And is it just a coming together there? Tom Lees and Charlie Taylor. Bit of pulling. Nah, not for me. Not enough in it. I mean, Charlie Taylor knows what he's doing in terms of just giving him a bit of a pull, but nothing much where it's a penalty kick for me. It's got under half an hour to go. 1-0 Burnley. Not as dominant as they were in the first half. Huddersfield are definitely getting in the game a little bit, but if anyone's going to score, it still looks like Burnley in terms of their quality they have. That's Cullen. Ball through the lines to Bastien. Gets it to the left-hand side to Martson. Cullen, space on the right-hand side. He finds that space, of course he does, Josh Cullen. Clips out to Josh Brownhill. Cork. Misplaced ball, too heavy. He's frustrated with himself there. Can't quite find Josh Brownhill. Be thrown for Huddersfield in their own half. Actually, it's disappointing for Burnley last season, finishing 18th. They got it down to the last day, but they were beaten on the last day by Newcastle at home, 2-1. Cornet did score, but it wasn't enough because a brace from Callum Wilson ended their Premier League dreams. Maxwell Cornet was the top scorer last season for Burnley. Looks like he's on his way out. He's got a 17.5 million relegation release clause, and it looks like someone's meeting that. I don't know who it's going to be. There's many clubs interested. He got 9 goals in the Premier League last season, 5 of them at home, 4 away. But unfortunately, they got no wins in their last 4 Premier League games, Burnley, and that's what saw them get relegated to the Championship, where they start this season under Vincent Kompany. Charlie Taylor on the ball now for Burnley. Clipped over John Russell. It's going to be a free kick for Burnley on halfway. Whatever Danny Schofield said at half-time, it's definitely had some kind of effect. They've looked a lot better than they did in the first half. That's for sure. I mean, I don't think they could have looked a much worse, but, you know, at least they are looking better. Taylor Harwood-Bellis coming out from the back with the ball. Gets it to Martson at left back. Now Charlie Taylor. Cullen back to Taylor. Getting pressed here in their own half. Burnley as he clip it forward into the Huddersfield half. Header won by Edmonds Green. Kept in by Sorba Thomas as he flicks it inside towards Anjurin. But it's cut out. And it's back to the Burnley goalkeeper. Murick. Harwood-Bellis. Taylor. Getting pressed again very nicely by Danny Ward, and he's fouled in the end, unfortunately, and he's got the ball kicked at him. Charlie Taylor getting a little bit frustrated. He's been cynically brought down there by Danny Ward, and then someone booted the ball at him as he was down there. Josh Brownhill's also not happy. Referee James Linnington's going to have a word with Charlie Taylor, just telling him he's understanding the situation and just trying to get him to calm down. Like I said, he took on Danny Ward the first time, got back on his feet, and then got taken out second time, and then the ball was booted at him. Not quite sure he booted at him. I think it was Sorba Thomas. He's already had a kick at him, Sorba Thomas. Now he's booting the ball at him. Don't think Sorba Thomas and Charlie Taylor are the bestest of friends, especially after this game. Huddersfield fans aren't happy. Burnley are taking the time. It's going to be a yellow card. Time wasting. And Charlie Taylor, the one who's been booked because he was stood over the free kick for a long time, and then he told his keeper to come and take it, and he was taking the mickey. Definitely time wasting. That's a yellow card for Charlie Taylor. He's growing in frustration. He just needs to be careful. But it's time wasting. He stood over it for about 20 seconds, then told his keeper to come and take it. Can't not expect a booking for that. Cullen's gone down, but I think the referee's read his acting there, and Huddersfield are going to get away here Sorba Thomas on the right. He's going to go for an early ball across to Radoni, the summer signing from Wimbledon, on the left. Hand side. Tries to work across, comes off Roberts last. It's going to be a corner kick for Huddersfield. Good work there from Jack Radoni. Like I say, bagged lots of goals in League One last season from midfield. Did have a goalless drought from December to February, but 12 goals in League One from midfield is pretty impressive, and he wins his team a corner. It did come off the arm of Connor Roberts, but his arm was well tucked into his side, so he was never handball at all. It'll be a corner. Sorba Thomas, we know he's good at set pieces. They've drowned the far post here, Huddersfield, with their players. And then it goes towards the near post. How funny. But Ian Martin heads away, throwing for Huddersfield. Like I say, a lot better from Huddersfield. Making a game of it at least, but they're still not look like they're going to score. They've still not had a shot in the second half. We need to test the goalkeeper, Muric. But in terms of actually looking like they can match Burnley, they've looked a lot better. Jonathan Hogg gets it towards the right hand side to Ollie Turton. Back goes to Edmonds Green. Lees. Ruffles. Radoni. Nice bit of footwork to get away from Harwood Bellis. But he's met by the tackle of Costello. It's going to be a throw-in for Huddersfield. As for Huddersfield, as Jack Radoni was ganged up on there by Costello and Harwood Bellis. Be a throw-in now. It looks like we're going to get one of the Burnley summer signings on. Scott Twine. Signed from £5 million from MK Dons. Scott Twine has been given the number 11 shirt. He bagged 20 league goals in League One last season with 13 assists. He scored 4 goals against Plymouth away on the last day in a 5-0 victory. So he can definitely score and do it in the league below. Can he make the step up with Burnley? Quick little player. I think he'll suit the way they are playing today. And the quick passing, the quick moving. The combinations they're using. Cullen, heavy touch, just about gets it back to Howard Bellis, and a great ball forward to Ian Martin. Crosses that border into the Huddersfield half. He goes across to the right to Brownhill. Does he fancy a strike from afar? Yes, he does. And it's straight into the Burnley fans in that away end. Poor from Josh Brownhill. Not really known for his goal scoring. Only got the 2 goals last season in the Premier League. They were against Brighton and Watford, both in wins. And here comes Scott Twine. Going to be replacing number 26, Samuel Bastian. Signed from Standard Liège for £800,000. The DR Congo international. He's had a good first game. You can really see what he can bring to Burnley. And now we're going to find out what Scott Twine can also bring to Burnley as well. A very, very highly anticipated signing from MK Dons. £5 million. They've splashed the cash on him. Can he deliver the goods with 20 minutes to go? It'd be good to see him get a debut goal. He's seen more as an attacking midfielder. Scott Twine, can also play up front as well. Did win the League 2 title with Swindon back in 2019-2020, but only made 6 appearances in that season. So he's really come on the last couple of years to get this move to Burnley. Just Cullen on the ball. Sends it over the top to Ashley Barnes here on the left-hand side. No offside, surely not. I think he's on, the number 10. And he finds a cross. He digs it out towards the far post, goes over Castello's head. And it falls to Radoni, this Huddersfield substitute. Tries to get it down the left-hand side, but it deflects out for a Huddersfield throw-in. Which they want to try and take quickly, but they can't. They're going to leave it to left-back Ruffles. And Jurin. Tries to look in behind. Really poor ball. Not really aimed towards anyone, and it'll be Ariane Muric, the goalkeeper, to get the ball in his hands and roll out to Harwood Bellis in the 18-yard box. Back to Muric, the goalkeeper. Charlie Taylor has it now, who is on a booking, we believe. And he slams up the field and in behind as well. Scott Twine will give chase, but it's covered very nicely. It's Turton, the right back, to clatter it off Ashley Barnes for a throw-in. Under 20 minutes to go, still 1-0 to Burnley, so it's still well in the balance for Huddersfield to maybe nick a goal, get an equaliser. Behind the frustrating for Vincent Kompany, but their team haven't seen this game out yet, and they haven't added to their lead. Up the field it gets. Jack Redoni, the number 22 Huddersfield, the substitute, the new signing, breaks away on the left-hand side. Overlap of Ruffles, gets the ball into the box, way over Danny Ward, overhit, and will trickle for a Burnley throw-in. And another substitute. I think you can use 5 substitutes this year as well. Even in the Championship, you can name 7 subs. Use 5 of them. They're going to use another one here. John Russell's coming off the number 5, signed last season on a free from Chelsea, the 6'4" giant, and he's going to be replaced by number 18, David Kasumu. Nigerian. English, international. Signed in this summer from MK Dons. Undisclosed fee. So he comes on for Huddersfield. Kasumu. As we're back underway and Huddersfield are on the ball on their left-hand side, right on the halfway. Inside it goes to Redoni. Being pressured by Scott Twine, who wins it. The former MK Dons man gets it to Cork, who tries to get it forward. Picked up by Ruffles. Bit scrappy here. Huddersfield end up clearing and they win a free kick anyway after a collision with Edmonds Green. And I think Costello. So if you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that would be terrific. In that team as well, who started the playoff final, only Nichols, Lees, Hogg, Ward and Thomas started that game and are still here and started tonight. I think that says a lot. Only 5 players have stayed. Redoni, pull back towards Anjorin. Can he get the shot away? It's hooked away by Roberts. Headed forward by Hogg. Dealt with not very well by Costello. And it set up the shot for Danny Ward, who got his foot over it nicely, his left foot, but fired it over the bar. Again, good running there by Anjorin. Laid it off to the left to Redoni. Then pulled it back towards Anjorin. Couldn't get the shot away first time, it was cleared. And then when it fell to Hogg, he headed it forward. Costello couldn't clear, and like I say, fell to Danny Ward. It's a decent little attempt from the striker. Unfortunately, it was always rising. I think that may have took a nick, off Charlie Taylor. He was asking for the corner. Didn't quite get it. And what a great first team debut for Dara Costello. He's replaced by new signing right back who was brought in the last few days, Vitinho, Brazilian right back. Also played in the Belgian league last year. So he's going to go a bit more defensive now. I think he can also play right midfield as well. Vitinho, I'd have written that down. He can play right midfield as well, so he'd probably be a bit more of a defensive option on that right-hand side. Can get forward and defend. So he replaces Dara Costello. Debut done for the young Irishman. He impressed me, loved his work rate. Good cultured left foot. Could have even had a goal in the first half. Not to be, and he's replaced by the Brazilian right-back Vitinho, the number 22. Burnley are on the ball in their own half. Clip down the left-hand side. Up towards Scott Twine as he lets it go beyond him. It's come off Edmonds Green last. And there'll be a throw-in for Burnley. Deep inside the Huddersfield half. Well played, though, by Edmonds Green, having to get it gone. The Peckham-born centre-half. A lot more passing, though, for Burnley compared to last season. They're really moving it well. They'll still be a lot higher in possession, 70% nearly, but not quite as dominant with it as they were in the first half. Charlie Taylor dinks it in behind, down the left channel. Ashley Barnes will peel to it and will get it just in the box, tries to drill it across, blocked by Edmonds Green. Corner kick for Burnley, met by a round of applause from the travelling fans from Burnley tonight. A club that celebrate their 140-year anniversary this year. Was founded back in May of 1882. And they're experiencing having a manager for the first time in nearly 10 years. That crowd. Josh Brown will take a right-footed in-swinging corner. Just less than 15 minutes ago, pulsated on time. In it goes. It's in a good area. Well won, though, by Danny Ward. Going as far as Charlie Taylor on the right-hand side. Can he work another crossing with that left foot? He works across. The head is won by Harwood Bellis. Lee Nichols is able to catch at the near post. The young centre-back nearly getting a goal on his debut. Scott Twine wins it back, though. Great tackle on Sorba Thomas. The number 11, Scott Twine. Gets it to Cullen. Harwood Bellis, who nearly got his name on the score sheet there, winning that header at the far post, but like I said, didn't really trouble Lee Nichols. There's a switch towards Vitinho. It's intercepted, and it'll be a Burnley throw-in. Good ball in that by Taylor, clipped towards the far post, and he won his header on Edmonds Green there, Harwood Bellis. But it was caught by Lee Nichols, who kept it away from the goal line. Another throw-in for Burnley, won by Ashley Barnes. Connor Roberts can throw it far if he needs, but could also keep it short and receive the ball back. He can go for a long throw-in into a Scott Twine. Had a won by Turton, only as far as Cullen. Martson from left back, trying the strike. Arrows well over the bar and wide. Good strike though, from good technique. Clean hit, but just not quite hitting the goal. Edmonds Green trying to play out on the back here. Kasumu. Turton runs out of pitch. His pass has gone out of play. Throwing for the Burnley left back. Burnley are forced all the way back to their goalkeeper, Muric. It's the Kosovo international. Made 4 championship appearances for Forest back in the 2019-2020 season. That's Nottingham Forest, who obviously stopped Huddersfield getting their promotion last season. And he clears it up the field now towards Ashley Barnes. And the free kick's been won as Tom Lee's pushed him in the back. Free kick given by the referee. This is also the 77th meeting between the two sides. And back when these two teams were both in the Championship from 2012 to 2016, they met 6 times, and in the first 3 meetings, Burnley won, and then Huddersfield won the first 3, and then the second lot of 3 games, Burnley won. So very even record in the Championship the last 4 years when they were both in this division. 3 wins for one, 3 wins for the other. These two teams also met in the FA Cup last year in the 3rd round. 2-1 at Turf Moor. Huddersfield won. Rodriguez gave Burnley the lead, who's currently injured. And then Josh Karoma and Matty Pearson. Forgot his first name. Apologies about that. Yeah, Josh Cromer and Matty Pearson. Cromer in the 74th minute and a late 86th minute winner by Matty Pearson knocked then Premier League Burnley at the FA Cup, and Huddersfield kept their positive season going with a decent little cup run, which was ended by Nottingham Forest in the end. Like their Championship season hopes was also ended by Nottingham Forest. Martson sets away on the left-hand side, just about keeps it in on the byline, on the Burnley left. 1-on-1 with Kasumu, nice little bit of skill. He keeps going in the box, pull back, shot by Scott Twine, blocked in the end and cleared. Scott Twine getting his first little sniff at goal as Harwood Bellis cleans up at the back and gets it to Cullen. On the left-hand side, goes inside to Martson, Cullen, ball forward, Scott Twine on the edge. Can he work a shot? He lays it out wide right instead. Vitinho tries to get the cross in, blocked in the end. Throwing for Burnley towards the corner flag. Another round of applause from the travelling supporters, who must be very happy with what they've seen tonight. A complete change of football. Different way of playing. With just 10 minutes to go, plus on time. If you are new, please like and subscribe. Helps out the channel massively. We'll try and hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this season at least. Connor Roberts with the throw-in. A little bit of movement from the Burnley players, but he goes long in towards Ashley Barnes. Headed on by Edmonds Green. But there's a free kick involved anyway. I think if there's a push by Ashley Barnes. Lee Nichols will take that free kick inside his own 18-yard box. Up towards Danny Ward. Who can't win the header on Harwood Bellis. And his header has been flicked on by Ashley Barnes. Vitinho will get to it and will win the free kick as he was stopped in his tracks there by Ruffles. I'll be surprised if that's not a booking. Looks like Vitinho The new signing literally a couple of days ago was getting away. Signed from Cercle Bruges in the Belgian league. Vitinho, 23 years of age, made 4 Brazilian under-20 appearances some years back. Chance for Burnley to get this ball in the box and to get this game wrapped up. It's still only 1-0. Anything can change. It's going to be crossed in by Brownhill. Again, it's got the pace on it. Header won by Danny Ward. Falls only as far as Vitinho. Good block from Casemiro. It's worked again. Across the box. Ashley Barnes blocked off by Danny Ward. I think that was. And it's a corner for Burnley. Barnes again trying to sniff at goal. Can't quite get the goal that he wants. That he craves. He'd be his 30th in the Championship in his career. Making his 151st appearance at this level. Ashley Barnes. Played 8 times in that season where Burnley last played in the Championship when they won the league in 2016. Outswinging corner. Again, it's a good ball, good pace, but straight on Huddersfield head. It does fall back to Burnley. It's been laid off here. It's Connor Roberts on the right. Clips it in. It falls all the way to the edge of the box to Charlie Taylor. Deflected strike. Needs to be cleared. Bouncing around in the box. Kasumu will clear for Huddersfield. The new signing from MK Dons. Starting to get a little bit tense on the touchlines now as it's getting closer to the end of the game. And it's still only 1-0. Huddersfield are going to make another change. A roll at the dice. It's going to be the experienced man, Jordan Rhodes. Oldham born striker. As Burnley could be in a great tackle. No, it's not a good tackle, says the referee. Kasumu, I thought, made a brilliant challenge there, the substitute. He's been booked for it as well. It was a challenge on Vitinho as he was bursting away towards the edge of the box. Let's have a look at this. Scott Twine chested it to the Brazilian, took a touch forward, and I don't quite know. I need to see that again a bit slower. It's definitely reckless, but I thought he got the ball first, but like I say, he is Nigerian, David Kasumu. I've got him down as English. I knew he was Nigerian. My notes wrong. And for Scott Twine, I know he can hit them from this range. I've seen him score free kicks from 22 yards out on his debut for Burnley. This would be a great way to introduce himself to those travelling fans behind the goal. Free kick given by the referee. It'll be taken by Scott Twine, the £5 million man. Can he get it up and over the wall and probably secure these 3 points for Burnley on the opening day of the Championship on this Friday night, kick-starting the new season? Referee just sorting the wall out, getting Burnley players stood in the right area. Ian Martson, the left-back's also stood over. It's more suited for a left-footer, but he will be Scott Twine. Off the post! Around it went. He's frustrated with himself. He nearly got his first goal in a Burnley shirt. He's really disappointed. That should have gone in for the youngster. 23-year-old. Like I say, got it around the wall, curled very nicely over the head of Danny Ward. Like I say, off the post. It went outside of the post. He's frustrated with himself. Like I say, he got 20 League One goals in the last campaign. Got himself a £5 million move. And he nearly got his first goal for his new club. Burnley still attack. Cork. Back and across it goes to Charlie Taylor. I think they'll try the left-hand side here. No, go for a diagonal switch back out to the right-hand side. To Vitinho. Nods it down to Brownhill. 5 minutes to go. Burnley are back in control of this game again. They lost the control midway through this half. As they win a free kick there. Connor Roberts. Bundled to the ground there by Tino Anjorin. But like I say, from around the 60th minute to the 75th minute, just midway in the half, Huddersfield started to get back in the game a little bit. Not challenging the keeper. They still only had one shot. But in terms of just, putting themselves out there, actually challenging Burnley, not letting them dominate the game. But like I said, the last 5 minutes, Burnley have got the game back under control as Huddersfield are still waiting to make their changes. They've got 2 lined up, not just Jordan Rhodes, Charlie Taylor. Down the left-hand side, it goes for Burnley. Scott Twine keeps it. Martson inside. Cullen, the number 24, finds Twine. Martson. Cullen tries the 1-2 with the Dutch left-back. Can't quite find the return. That'll be a throw-in for Huddersfield. Must have come off Martson left as it was cleared by Huddersfield. number 23 for Huddersfield will come off. Oh, no. This is a shame. Real shame. The man who gave the free kick away on the edge of the box, David Kasumu, the Nigerian, signed for £800,000 from MK Dons, has gone down. I think he'll be replaced. He's been substituted on. He looks like he's going to have to be substituted off. Looks like a muscle problem for the new signing. Joined MK Dons when he was 14 years of age in 2013. In the 2017-2018 season, he won MK Dons Academy Player of the Year. And in his 69 League One appearances, he was only able to bag one goal, and that was against Blackpool in 2019. And it looks like his very, very short Huddersfield debut is coming to an end. Muscle issue for the substitute, unfortunately. And it looks like his debut will only last 15 minutes. That's really unfortunate for the new signing. Definitely not what Huddersfield want. Jordan Rhodes is coming on. Their new Japanese signing, Yuta Nakayama, will be coming on as well. He was signed in this window. He's a centre-back. Featured in the Olympics for Japan a year and a bit ago. But we're still deadlocked. Well, we're deadlocked in the second half at 0-0 because no real big chances have happened. Burnley have had a couple, but we are separated through Ian Martson's goal. It looks like it may have took a nick off a Huddersfield man as he struck it, but I don't think he'll care at all. Ian Martson is the left back on loan from Chelsea. Spent last season at Coventry, and he's the man who's separating the two sides. Just have a bit of a delay in the game while we get this change swapped. So this time it is going to be David Kasumu to be replaced after 15 minutes of playing. I think he's going to be replaced by Yuta Nakayama. And then Jordan Rhodes is going to come on. Will he be a like-for-like swap for Danny Ward? Or will they bring off a different player and keep two strikers on the field? We'll wait and see. And it's going to be Edmonds Green to come off. Okay. So Yuta Nakayama will play centre-back, replacing the centre-half Edmonds Green. And they're going to bring off a midfielder in Kasumu, obviously a forced change, but they're bringing off a central midfielder for a striker. So it is a positive change, as Huddersfield will get to see their new Japanese signing in Nakayama. Last season in the Eredivisie, which he played from, that's where they got him from, the Dutch league. He did play at left back and centre back, so he is versatile in that way. Poor throw in from Huddersfield, giving straight back to Burnley. Martson takes on Turton down the left, crosses it, in it goes, misses the head of Vitinho, but it will be picked up by Brownhill, who chases away from the pressure of Jack Redoni. Roberts, Brownhill down the line to Vitinho. Back to Brownhill it goes. Can he shape a cross up? No, he can't. He'll go back to Roberts. As we're nearing the 90th minute, and Huddersfield have just been so poor this game. Like I said, they had the 15-minute spell where they were kind of battling, but not really doing anything. Still giving out instructions there, Vincent Kompany. But yeah, Huddersfield will be disappointed. I think Vincent Kompany will be disappointed. It's only 1-0. His team's been the much better side for the vast majority of this match. And like I said, I think he'll be disappointed it's only 1. So we've hit the 90th minute. Throwing into Twine. He gets it out to the left back, Martson. What a ball that is. The left back hits it straight down the throat again of Lee Nichols. 5 minutes of added on time. That seems extortionate. We've been given 5 minutes. I know we had a stoppage there for this injury of Kasumi, but I don't think 5 minutes is needed. But that's what Huddersfield have got to try and save this game. Great ball out wide left it goes. Good tackle though by the Burnley man, but then it's won back by Anjorin. The substitute, Loney from Chelsea. He plays a ball forward, looking for Jordan Rhodes, picked up by Harwood Bellis, who's definitely been up there with one of my man of the match. He's been superb for Burnley at the back, very composed. He got it to Scott Twine, who couldn't quite fit through the gap of the Huddersfield players. And it's now Nakayama, the Japanese international, the substitute, the centre-half. Turton, the right-back, still in his own half. Huddersfield need to get the ball forward. They've nearly lost a minute of that added on time already. Nakayama into Redoni. Ruffles, tries to get it back inside to Redoni. It's come off Jack Cork, and it'll be a throw-in for Huddersfield, as they've got to just throw the kitchen sink at it here, I think. Throwing towards Rhodes. Comes off Harwood Bellis, another throw-in for Huddersfield. Can they get late drama? Hogg. Ruffles. Gets it forward. Free kick. Harwood Bellis gives it away. He goes through the back of Jordan Rhodes to try and win the ball, and the referee deems it as a free kick. This could be dangerous. I think Sorba Thomas is still on the pitch, the right winger, so he can put a cross in. And he's already with the ball now. Right for the end of the game, if you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd really help out. First game of the 2022-2023 season on the Football Commentaries YouTube channel. Like I say, Sorba Thomas is stood over it with his right foot on the left-hand side. You could definitely argue it's undeserved if they get the equaliser. It's going to be the left foot instead, and it's so poor. Stopped by Scott Twine. And what on earth was that free kick? Big disappointment. They've cleared it, Burnley. It's been recycled by Lee Nichols. Back forward, he pumps it. Flicked on. It's fallen to Anjurin. Good tackle there by Connor Roberts to clear. He's been clattered into, but the referee's not having it. Cleared it. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's launched himself into Tino Anjurin. Good refereeing today, James Linnington. I've been impressed with his refereeing. He's definitely seen that Connor Roberts is trying to buy that free kick after he's launched himself into the Huddersfield man. We're over halfway into added on time. Josh Cullen's been given man of the match. The man signed for £3 million from Anderlecht. And I'm not going to disagree. Like I say, Harold Bellis is up there for me. I think the centre-back's had a good debut, but Josh Cullen's really ticked it along. He's been very good. And yeah, free kick for Burnley from the throw-in. They tried to keep it alive, and Brownhill's tried to clear it. He's got there first, ahead of the Huddersfield man, and he's won his team a free kick. So, a lot of good debuts. Ian Martson, good debut with the goal. Josh Cullen, who's got man of the match. Howard Bellis at the backs look really calm and composed. Their goalkeeper hasn't really been tested, in fairness. I don't think they've had a shot on target. Huddersfield, that's how poor they've been. I think they've only had one shot, and it wasn't even on target. 2 shots they've had. As Burnley climb to the top of the Championship. Murick, just over a minute left of this game. Sends it up towards Ashley Barnes, can't win the header. That's back with Hogg. Clips it forward for Huddersfield. Charlie Taylor deals with it very calmly with a chested touch. And he clips it up the field again, looking for Ashley Barnes. Header behind him from Tom Lees, and I think that could be it. Burnley corner. And with 50 seconds to go, Burnley could have secured their first win under new manager Vincent Kompany. Like I said, they could have scored a lot more goals. They haven't. But it looks like they're going to be gaining the 3 points, which is the most important thing. And you can clearly see a new style being embedded in this new squad of Vincent Kompany's. Brownhill's gone over to take, got 30 seconds left. Scott Twine's come short for it. And so is Ian Martson. Takes it to Martson. He's going to go to the corner flag. He's been tackled by Rodoni. And he wins a throw for his side. Didn't quite work, but 10 seconds left. I think that's it. I don't think there's enough time to get the ball forward. Will Kompany get that first win? Thrown down the line. It'll fall to Cullen, who heads forward. Another throw in. The referee's going to let the game keep going for now. Long throwing down the line. Again, a header won by Cullen. Another throw in for Huddersfield. They're getting further up the pitch. As they've got a throw in on halfway. We've played the 5 minutes. I don't know why we're getting any more added on time here. Throwing down the line. It can't hit Danny Ward. Hooked away by Charlie Taylor. Referee looking at his watch. And that is it. First win for Vincent Kompany at his new adventure with Burnley. They've beaten a lacklustre Huddersfield side who are still suffering from a hangover from last season and their disappointment in the playoff final. Could not have asked for a better start, Vincent Kompany. Complete opposite side of the scales for Danny Schofield and his first game as Huddersfield head coach. He's been disappointed massively by his Huddersfield Town side, who were only able to register 2 shots 0 of them on target. They only had 30% possession. They didn't look at all like they were going to score in the game. Only for a slight 15-minute period, they looked like they were actually giving the game to Burnley. And that's just being nice, just challenging them for a game. But other than that, Burnley, perfect first game performance. Yes, it didn't instill too many goals, but you can clearly see the style that Vincent Kompany's bringing to this team. It's football played the way it should be, on the floor, triangle, connections, everything you want. Good movement, combinations. It's been really positive. Like I say, the only thing I think that Kompany will have a problem with is the fact it just wasn't more than one. But he can't complain. A first half goal from left back signing on loan from Chelsea, Ian Maatsen, with his weaker right foot, curled it into the bottom right corner. That was the goal that made the difference. Chances here and there in the second half of Burnley. Not enough for a goal, but it's enough for the win. It's ended here at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. And like I say, Burnley rise to the top of the Championship table. Great start for Vincent Kompany. You've got to remember, he's only 36 years of age. He's still so young, but yet looks such a leader in that managerial role. Applauding the travelling supporters who've come down to the John Smith Stadium to see their new look Burnley team, and they can be very happy and look forward to what should and could be a successful season for his side. He's making sure he's handshaking every single one of his staff and players, Vincent Kompany. Real team bonding and real team connection, you feel. And he's only going to bring that closer together. As in their first game of the season, away from home, they've been able to collect 3 points from Huddersfield, who obviously, like I said, I just think are still a bit hungover from the ending of last season, where they just lost out in the playoff final. Their manager resigned. They lost many key players. Like I said, just don't think pre-season and the time they've had from pre-season has been enough to really get them going again for this season. I just don't think they're ready for this season. But it's been a quick turnaround. And it doesn't matter if they're not ready, because teams like Burnley are, and they've got to sort their ideas out quickly. Because if they don't, Huddersfield, I think, could be in for a bit of a poor season. Well, definitely poor compared to last season anyway. That's for sure. But that's the first commentary done for this season. Huddersfield Town versus Burnley. Next commentary will be next week. I'm not sure what game it will be. I can't guarantee what game it will be. It'll be one of the games next week. So make sure you liked and subscribe with the notifications on so you know when I'll be going live. And you'll know which game I'm covering. But for today, thanks to everyone who's liked, subscribed, enjoyed the first commentary. Football is back finally. And Vincent Kompany, in his first game at Burnley, has got a 1-0 win. Wasn't the prettiest wins in the second half. Didn't dominate like they would in the first half, but he doesn't care. It's a 1-0 win for Burnley. They take the 3 points and they're top of the Championship with a 1-0 win against Huddersfield away.